For many people with ADHD, consistency feels impossible. Not because you don't care, and not because you don't try, but because consistency has been defined in a way that doesn't work for your brain. Somewhere along the way, consistency became synonymous with perfection. Same effort every day, same output, same discipline, same results. When that standard isn't met, the entire system collapses. If you've ever felt like you're either on track or completely off the rails, this isn't a personal flaw. It's a definition problem. ADHD brains are variable by nature. Energy fluctuates, focus fluctuates, emotional capacity fluctuates. Expecting sameness from a variable system creates constant friction. When consistency is defined as doing things the same way every day, ADHD is set up to fail. And when failure feels inevitable, motivation erodes. One of the most harmful ideas many ADHD adults internalize is that missed days erase progress. You might miss a workout, a work session, or a routine once, and suddenly it feels like everything is ruined. This all-or-nothing thinking is emotionally intense and deeply discouraging. It turns small disruptions into full resets. Over time, this pattern makes consistency feel fragile and exhausting. Perfectionism plays a huge role here. Perfectionism isn't about high standards, it's about conditional self-worth. It says, "I'm only doing well if I do this right." ADHD brains often develop perfectionism as a defense against criticism and inconsistency. If everything is done perfectly, there's less room for mistakes. But perfectionism doesn't create consistency. It creates fear. Fear-based consistency doesn't last. When effort is driven by fear of messing up, the nervous system stays on edge. This makes focus harder, not easier. Eventually, the system rebels. Avoidance sets in. Burnout follows. The very thing meant to enforce consistency destroys it. ADHD-friendly consistency works differently. It's not about repeating the same behavior perfectly. It's about returning. Returning after missed days. Returning after low-energy weeks. Returning after burnout. Consistency is about direction, not execution. Think about consistency as a relationship rather than a streak. In healthy relationships, missing a day doesn't end everything. You reconnect, you repair, you continue. ADHD consistency works the same way. Missing a day is not failure, it's part of the pattern. Another reason perfection undermines consistency is that it raises the activation threshold. When the right way to do something feels demanding, starting feels overwhelming. ADHD brains already struggle with task initiation. Adding perfection requirements increases resistance. The task doesn't feel approachable, so it's avoided. Consistency improves when tasks feel safe to do imperfectly, when half done counts, when showing up tired counts, when effort matters more than outcome. This lowers the emotional cost of engagement and makes return easier. It's also important to separate consistency from intensity. Many people equate consistency with high effort, but consistency often looks quiet. It might be 5 minutes instead of 50, one email instead of a full project. These small engagements keep neural pathways active. They prevent the starting from zero feeling. ADHD brains benefit enormously from continuity rather than completion. Continuity means staying connected to a task or goal, even loosely. Completion-focused thinking makes anything unfinished feel like failure. Continuity-focused thinking keeps momentum alive. Another key shift is letting go of streak culture. Streaks are motivating for some people, but they're fragile for ADHD brains. One missed day breaks the streak and triggers discouragement. A flexible return model works better. Instead of, "I broke the streak," think, "I'm back." Language matters here. Words like fell off, failed, or quit are harsh and inaccurate. Often you didn't quit. You paused. Pauses are allowed. Pauses are human. ADHD consistency includes pauses. Consistency without perfection also means designing systems that assume inconsistency. Systems that only work when you're focused, motivated, and well-rested aren't systems, they're fantasies. Real systems include shortcuts, backups, and low-energy options. This is why minimums matter. Minimums create a floor you can always stand on. When your minimum is achievable even on bad days, consistency survives. Minimums prevent the guilt spiral that leads to disengagement. Another major barrier to consistency is emotional memory. ADHD brains remember how hard something felt last time, more than what actually happened. If you remember a task as overwhelming, you're less likely to return. Making tasks smaller and emotionally safer improves return rate. It's also important to decouple consistency from identity. Many people think, "I'm just not a consistent person." This belief becomes self-fulfilling. Consistency is not a personality trait. It's an outcome of environment, support, and expectations. Change the conditions, and consistency changes. ADHD consistency improves dramatically when self-trust improves. Each time you return without punishment, you rebuild trust. Your brain learns that trying doesn't lead to shame. This safety increases willingness to engage again. Another overlooked factor is recovery time. Many people aim to get back on track immediately after disruption. This rush often backfires. Sometimes the most consistent choice is to rest before returning. Pushing too soon creates another collapse. Consistency also benefits from visual continuity. Seeing progress, even imperfect progress, makes return easier. Checklists, notes, calendars, or logs can provide evidence that effort happened, even if it wasn't perfect. It's also helpful to redefine success intervals. Instead of judging yourself daily, zoom out. Look at a week or a month. ADHD consistency often looks uneven day to day, but stable over time. Zooming out reveals patterns that daily judgment hides. Another powerful shift is focusing on inputs instead of outputs. Outputs fluctuate. Inputs, like time spent, attempts made, or systems used, are more consistent. Rewarding inputs builds sustainable habits. Consistency without perfection also means letting go of comparison. Comparing your rhythm to others' rhythms creates unnecessary pressure. ADHD rhythms are different. That difference isn't failure, it's variance. Over time, as perfection loosens its grip, something changes. Effort feels less dramatic, missed days feel less threatening. Returning feels easier. This is real consistency, not rigid, but resilient. The goal isn't to never struggle. The goal is to struggle without giving up on yourself. That's what consistency looks like with ADHD. Inside Dopaloop Pro, we focus on consistency this way: gentle, flexible, and realistic. We help you build systems that support return, not punishment. If you want ADHD-friendly consistency without perfection or burnout, you'll find the link in the description.